Hey, did you know there's a lot more going on right now at our websites? Are you watching all 4 of them? If not, check them out. There's a list right here. We got 3 YouTube channels and 1 audio-only channel for your enjoyment. So come on, dig in, and see all the stuff we do here at the North American Snow Queen Palace. Hi guys, hello, meet everybody out there. This is MicheleMarieDalene, and today we have some interesting news, views, information that I personally hope you can use, but you know how life is. So we're trying something different. First, I want to give Lumi kudos for her special effect that she did with the last thing regarding that makes a difference. What are you doing? Just, you got me. Okay, never. Okay, you're upside down. Okay, I wanted to just talk to you today about a couple of different things, and it's gonna just basically free associate. We're not gonna have any particular pattern. First, I want to give you your kudos you deserve. No, that was an awesome idea you did with the that Gothic revival room. That was awesome. I mean, that worked out really well. I'm really impressed. Thank you. So you're going to try the same thing with this background here, which is the Gothic patio. I'm going to try anyway. Except we're going to try to adjust light levels, angles, positions in advance so that there'll be less post-production work to do. And that's what we're going to do. I want to talk to you briefly on a couple posts published on January 10th. 2015, Hezbollah leader on Charlie Angle, Hebdo extremists more offensive to Islam than cartoons. I'm just going to read the first 2 paragraphs. This is from RT.com. Islamic extremists following the Takfiri ideology are more offensive to the Prophet Muhammad than Western satirical cartoons. Chief of the Lebanese military faction Hezbollah Hassan Nasrallah said following the Charlie Hebdo terrorist attack. Okay. The next group here says the behavior of the Takfiri groups that claim to follow Islam have distorted Islam, the Quran, and the Muslim nation more than Islam's enemies, who insulted the Prophet in films or drew cartoons of the Prophet, the Hezbollah leader said in a televised speech to mark the birthday of the Prophet Muhammad, according to Lebanon's Daily Star. Okay, the reason I wanted to point that out to you is to point out that right now the situation with Islam is a splintered event, because of the fact is that not all of the radical groups are on the same page regarding what to do. First of all, let's make sure we understand the Charlie Hebdo event was not done by ISIL. Please do not call it ISIS. I'm getting tired of that. I'll tell you why. The name ISIS is the name of a goddess, and I like to respect the goddess, because it's also Mother Asna's many other names. So it's technically is ISIL or Islamic State, Iran Liberation. Okay, basically meaning it's an organization to liberate Iran from the Shiite, which is another group of Islam faith systems. The situation overall is a frustrating, aggravating pain in the ass. The point is that the situation is just not acceptable that we allow these actions to continue. Now, first of all, let's make sure we understand one thing here. I do not support I never heard of the word Takafiri before, so I'm going to just explain what I understand about what's going on. And it ties into the dreams we've been having. I've been having, and Lum, I think you'll agree with me on this. Yeah, okay. First of all, the situation with the matter at large, as I said on Lumi's channel, is I see the world is changing before our eyes. It is. And it's changing in a very negative way. Tom Lupshu has also said the same thing that I'm saying. That we all have been told, unfortunately, by a variety of people, that our people are, it's just crazy. Where do I start? Well, we start from the beginning, because I think you just kind of tripped over your own toes. Yeah, tripped over my own tongue. Okay, let's try that then. Okay. Fact. Okay. We live, as Tom Lupshu said, in perilous times. There's no doubt in my mind that he's right there. Fact. You got at least 4 Islamic radicalized Muslim groups. Is it? Now, is it Muslim or Islam? That's another term I get mixed up on. I always say Islam instead of Muslim, or Muslim. So I'm going to say Islam. If it's Muslim or Islam, because there may be a difference. I don't know. We have all these groups. They're kind of infighting among each other. For example, Al-Qaeda was the daddy of ISIL. ISIL broke from Big Daddy when a few months ago, and has become its own, even more dangerous radicalist Islamic group than even the Al-Qaeda are. And we see how much ISIL has done so much damage to humankind all over our planet. We've seen how they have caused so much injury, and beheadings and bloodshed, and it is absolutely positively unbelievable how much damage was done. But here's the question I'd like to know. Why is it happening? Maybe because they just tend to think that, I don't know. It's a great question. Great question, isn't it? So, okay. So it seems to me that all of the good guys, which is a good portion of the Western and Israel as well, are kind of surrounded by very angry, hungry sharks that basically want to see our downfall as a country. And let's make one thing clear. We live in a day and age where everything that you ever will do is so much of the stuff that we see going on is almost like there's a conflict between good versus evil. Yeah. Okay. For example, I'm not against, say, for example, Christianity. I'm not against Islam. I'm not against Judaism. I try to be respectful of all parties and all questions. But when I'm running into a big question is when I wake up and I have dreams regarding the world changing right before my eyes, and that I have to go through and deal with some kind of a contest where I see I got organized shapes or colors, or I'm going to dematerialize. Or if I don't do a certain thing, I'm going to fall sinking through the floor. I think that means something. It's an archetype in there. and it's a very powerful one. Yeah, I think the powerful one is that there's a sense of futility. That is you can sit there and I could put all my ducks in a row, no pun intended, or get all the colors right in order, from pure white to pure black, or try to organize all the different shapes of objects in a box of objects based on size and shape within a certain number of minutes. But finally, I took advantage of something last night, which is I woke up and I said, I'm not playing your shitty game, and I went back to bed. That's true, you did, and I did. I felt better because I kind of liberated myself. I said to myself, I said very firmly to whoever has been putting me through this, I said, I'm not playing your shitty game, and I went right back to bed because I knew in all reality is it's not going to make me any better or any worse or anything other than frustrate me and make me miserable. And so I just decided that I'm going to take my bat and ball and go home. It was easier for me to do that. Let me ask you a question now. Do you think that people are really comfortable with what's going on in the world? No, it's just like Tom Lapshire said, they're not comfortable. Why would they want to be comfortable? Everything that they worked for is now basically going up in smoke. Literally, in some cases. People have been told that they can have the American dream, and the American dream is becoming unattainable. People had gone so much looking forward to having the same abilities of success as their mom and dad, and finding those dreams are being crushed by a system of tyrannical controls that are often hurting everybody. Mm-hmm. Is that why you want to run for Selectman of Winston? Is to try to change that on the local level? Yeah. Okay. You want to talk about that? I know that's more of a local political issue, but you want to talk about here on YouTube? Yeah, I'll talk about it here on YouTube. Winston is going to be running for the Board of Selectmen for next year. November will be election. And I already contacted the Republican committee chairman, Brian Sunday, and said I would like to run for selectman for Winston for the year 2015. And he said, okay, well, we start actually organizing around March. And I said, Brian, I'm on the internet already now. So, maybe the party may officially start organizing in March. I can start organizing my campaign right now. I can go ahead and putting my platform together because I'm already on the internet. I'm on YouTube. I'm everywhere. And so, like I said to him, I'm going to start the process of campaigning already in advance. And the first thing I've been working on is my platform. Yeah, we were talking about today when you just came out of the top. Yep. One of the things is I want to focus on honesty, integrity, and logisticality. Now, honesty is because I'm going to tell you as it is, way it is, and how it is. And integrity is I'm going to show my true colors on and off camera. I'm not going to two-face anybody. Okay? And logisticality is I'm going to look at all the issues from both sides of the fence to determine what is the best way to solve the local economic issues that are affecting Winston. We need, for example, this town we got to do is get big business in here, but we also have to make sure the big business is willing to give the average person in Winston a chance to prove their nettle. There's a lot of people in this town that want to do more than just sit on their fat ass. Really. We have basically told the handicapped especially, I'm sorry, you're not good enough for anybody. Excuse me? I'm handicapped. I do with Lumi's help, I do 3 YouTube channels, a public access TV program, and I also do a radio program. Okay? I have gone out there and have established a camaraderie with my landlord in operating, helping him to maintain his properties and helping him with his paperwork and doing all of this. I help the community at large. I stand up and support the homeless and their needs and their concerns. I support the rights of all people to have the privilege of achieve the American dream, and I'm always going to do that because that's me. That's not just some kind of political statement to get into office. I mean, that's the biggest problem right now, is that we got too many people who are trying to get into office that basically are always worried about getting elected because they're going to say the right things to act as a silver tongue to get themselves in. If my honesty and my integrity and my logisticality is not enough to get me into office, so be it. Okay? And I am not going to sell myself short or try to grease the palms of dishonest people or try to step on the feet of innocent bystanders when I'm trying to do what I know has to be done. Okay? That's the one thing that really is important to me. The American people in this country want nothing less or nothing more than to enjoy the privilege of having a nice American dream. That if their parents could work hard and honest work and can get ahead, can establish a home and all the American dream goal, why can't I? If I work hard and I slave and I'm working 3 jobs and I still can't get enough to pay a mortgage, then something's wrong. And here's the problem. The problem is a lot of it has to do with NAFTA and GATT. Not specifically just NAFTA and GATT, but that has to do with that. Whereas we basically have given all these special incitement for companies to outsource all their jobs to foreign countries under these free trade agreements, and which resulted in all of the American people who really are just as talented are not getting a chance to get hired because they're too expensive to hire. So these companies make Americans sound like the lazy, good-for-nothing freeloaders. Well, let me assure you of something here. American workers are not freeloaders. Okay? We're good people. We believe in honesty. We believe in doing what is right. But you know what the sad truth is? It is true that some Americans, including especially the millennials, have said, I won't do that job because it's beneath me. Well, ask your grandfather and your great-grandfather when they came over here to this country what kind of jobs they were doing. And you're going to sit there and tell me that, for example, if you can make money getting a decent paycheck, taking out garbage or emptying cesspits or cleaning the streets is beneath you, when your grandfather and great-grandfather probably was doing something very similar in their time. Just so that your parents and you could enjoy the American dream of having a house with 2 kids and a dog in the backyard, and a car, or 2 cars in a garage. You know, that's what? That's the sad truth, kid. Sometimes you gotta do the jobs you hate, because that's what's necessary. Well, okay. So, as I said, a lot of employers are saying this. We don't want to hire American people because they're just too lazy. They don't want to do anything. You know what? Some of it's true. Some of these Americans, especially the millennials, are so entitled that they think that they can go right from college and go right into CEO at a corporation. I hate to say it, boys and girls, you're going to have to wake up here and look at the reality. It doesn't work that way. It's not that instant. You might have to start out in the mailroom first. Might have to work out as a secretary for some, vice president of operations or something or whatever. You don't go right from basically just walking in the door to president of a company in 1 week. It doesn't work that way. Despite what you might see on TV shows or movies like Greed and Wall Street. It doesn't work that way at all. And if you happen to be like me and Lummy, we're trying to start a small business ourselves. Pink Rose Communications, which is the actual communications arm of the North American Snow Queen Palace. That's what we do. This is our communications sector. This is not an easy job. I have to wake up every day, and some days I look at the calendar and I go, gee, I don't know what I'm supposed to talk about today. But then again, after I tip on the TV and watch the news and things like that, I kind of get an idea what to bring up, and I'm going to bring those topics up. The truth is that I have to struggle, just like everybody else does, to bring home the bacon. Okay, so I'm legally blind. That does not mean that I should just sit there on my fat ass. And God knows, I'll be honest, I got a fat ass. Alright? And a gut too. But that's not necessarily because I'm lazy. It's not necessarily not because I'm lazy. I'll be honest. I can be kind of lazy just like everybody else can be. It's just partially because of my health. I have problems with my health. My health is not perfect. But you know what? I've also made bad decisions too. I'll be honest with that. So, as I said, I'm going to try this year. I want to give it a fair shake. I want to give it a good try to become a political candidate and for the town of Winsted Board of Selectmen. As I think this town needs to see a different view of the real world. Politicians, for the most part, in most all the politics, are either A, college educated, ivory towered, people who have never really necessarily been in the lowest of the low trenches. Unfortunately, I wish that wasn't so much the case in the majority of the cases, but it is. Or those who do have some experience in the lower than low classes find themselves unable to deal with the political environment around them. It's just like a game. Fortunately enough, it's us versus them. The good guys and the bad guys seem to all have their own little teams rooting for them. It doesn't have to be that way. But it is. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you something. If people in Winston do elect me as selectman of Winston, I'm going to do my damnedest to be the best they can be. I may not know everything about the political process. I may not know all the details. But I know where my heart is. And I know where my head is. And I know what I believe in. And that I believe in this town, and I believe in the people in this town. And I believe that this town, in order to become successful, needs to be creative and encouraging companies to bring workers back into Winston and start new companies here. But likewise, the people in Winston also want a reason to feel better for themselves. So I tell all of you, let's work together and let's fix that problem. Let's make it right. Let's give the people the jobs that they so want. At the same time, bring the companies in that can give the city of Winston something it so wants. A tax base. Because if we don't do something soon, we're not going to have a town left. It'll be a ghost town like Dudleyville or Dudleytown. There'll be nothing. Just a tiny memory of what this town used to be. It's sad. true. Winston is slowly, not even so slowly anymore, it's picking up, as is the rest of the world, is on the decline. People like to say, in the case of Winston, we like to say, well, it's up to the state to fix Winston. No, it's up to Winston to fix Winston. The state's got enough problems. Let's work on our own solutions. One step at a time. There, I said it. You don't like it? That's okay. You don't have to. But I'd like to hear your response. What kind of an idea would you do to save a town that basically has lost all the mills? What would you do to get a town that has basically suffered severe economic dissipation of all the resources? What are you going to do in a town that doesn't even have much money to pay for the services that it needs? Okay, I'm going to leave the Centrella issue out of it. Those of you who don't know about this guy, he was a treasurer of the town of Winston. He took advantage of it, took lots and lots and lots of money. But I'm going to leave him out of it for this second, because I think that's only just part of the problem. The other part of the problem is that this town has got people have lost interest in Winston. Winston is everybody says, kind of like, oh, okay, I pay my taxes, the town takes care of itself. Well, that's fine if Winston was, say, a monarchy, i.e., you pay the king protects you, right? Winston is a republic. And Winston operates a board of selectmen that listens to you, the constituents. We listen to what you got to say. And those of us who care, at least look at what you're saying and try to come up with an answer that's going to help solve the problem. But one of the things you hear about politicians nowadays is that these men and women sit there and they talk about, how much money are you going to give me? I'll support your campaign. I'll give you a couple $100,000 if you support my company. Okay, no, I'm not going to do that. If anybody offers me money, favors, gifts, whatever, I'm going to flat right refuse you. I'm talking about from a political campaign or political operations. Because if you're going to try to woo me over by trying to say that if I support your agenda, that you're going to vote for me, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not interested. I don't necessarily want your money. I don't necessarily want to pick sides in any agenda. I want to do something better than that. I want to work towards finding a solution we can all understand and live with. That's what I want. I've been listening to this stuff on the news. I've been listening to it on the national level, global level, and sadly enough, I don't see too much news from Winston on my cell phone because, unfortunately, Winston doesn't really get a lot of coverage on the cell phone. Although I do get something from the Facebook Winston government page. I do get that. But one of the things is we got to change things. And just like Tom Lupshu said, things are changing. And they're changing very, very quickly. And nothing is as good as it used to be. It's time to crack our knuckles and get to work, boys and girls. If we're going to begin to solve the issues, we're going to stop thinking like the world. We're going to stop thinking on the state and the country and the county. It's time to think on the city and town levels. We're going to work our way up. To fix the problems, we start with the most basic government organization. Okay? Which actually is a little smaller than the town, but for this take, most cases, most people think of Winston as the town. So we'll think of it on the town level. Let's start by fixing the problems of Winston first. Then we can start dealing with things on the county level of Litchfield. What can we do once Winston's situation is fixed, along with the other towns working to solve their own problems, that we can all focus on to fix the problems of Litchfield. Then once we figure that out, then we can figure out how we can fix the problems of the state of Connecticut. And once all the all the people in the state of Connecticut, all the counties and cities and individuals work and get a solution for Connecticut that we can all live with, then maybe we can begin to deal with the region, which is the Northeast. And after that, we can go ahead and work our way up to deal with the federal government. And once everything in the federal government, by the way, this is not going to happen no overnight, kid. Sorry, I wish I could tell you that. It won't. By this time, at this level, it could possibly take about 15, 25 years to get there. But we'll do it one step at a time. That's what I'm going to tell you. We will fix the problems one step at a time. Just as we will find a way to deal with all the Islamic extremists one step at a time. Now, I have some other news. Okay. More exciting? I think so. Well, you're going to use that as part of your Cable 13? Yes, I am. The next piece I want to show you is, I think I saved it here on my phone. I thought it was kind of interesting when it came up here. It talks about, let's see. RC.com is done again. Okay. Oh, I can say it to you anyway. Well, it was a research into people with iPhones. When they can't get access to their phones, they begin to suffer from separation anxiety. That might sound kind of silly, but I use my iPhone for a lot, and I can certainly understand it. And just like, it turns out just like a little child, when you're away from your favorite toy, you kind of start to feel really, really stressed with separation anxiety, even if the thing was just about barely out of reach. Interesting. It didn't mention Android phones, though. No, but I'm sure it covers Android, too. I mean, the whole idea was, this is also on RT.com, was researchers found out that we get really separation anxiety when we're not near our phones or our things of interest. Sort of interesting. Yeah. It's like, I really have a hard time understanding why that is. It just is the way it is, though. Yeah. Okay. By the way, one of the things that I wanted to was thinking about for the future is that I wanted to talk. We saw that light control board at the Cable 13. Yes. Okay. I want to know is if we could do the same thing. Really? Cable 13. Something similar where we can put our 3 lights on, say, individual dimmers, and then we could dim them and adjust them accordingly in that way. Well, I think the dimming would, if it wasn't for the fact that it's going to change the color temperature, and it does, unfortunately, yeah. LEDs, it doesn't, but incandescents and halogens, they do change the color temperature. So the lower light level you go, not only does it get dimmer, but it also changes, it turns more orangey. Right, so that's not really what you want. It's not what you want. I also wanted to remind all of you that I have been aware that some of you have been lost track of my channel, and I think that I have to be honest. I think I kind of screwed up, guys. Sorry. I mean, what I mean by that is at one time we were really doing gangbusters. I mean, we had like up to 76 viewers. We lost 4 of you, and I think that a good possibility, the reason is that we had changed our program enough that caused a lot of you to feel that maybe my videos get to be too eclectic, or maybe they just didn't really speak to you, or whatever the case is. And I wanted to let you know that I'm very sorry for that, guys. I really am. I really want you to know that I want to achieve so much and reach out to you. So that's why I do these videos, is to reach out to you and to inspire you. But you know what? I've also told you, and I have said it many times, and I'll say it again. If there's something you do not like, if there's some reason that you do not like a topic, if you do not like the way something is being said, or if you don't tell me that something is wrong, then how am I supposed to know what to do to change it to make it better? You guys have got to tell me. If you don't like something, open up your mouth and say it. Tell it to me. Don't be afraid. I'm not going to bite your head off. That's the most important thing. And second of all, if you do like something I'm doing, let me know too, until I know that maybe I'm going somewhere you like. That if you don't tell me either one, I'm basically grasping at straws. And that's the problem. You can't, if I'm like, all I'm going to do is go like guessing and saying is, well, I think they like the videos I did, but all I see is the viewer count, like down my socks. So like, for example, let's go through a few of my video counts real here right now, just to give you an idea what I'm talking about, okay? Basically, the last video, okay? Let's flip it over to the side. Vlog, okay? What is going on? 4 views, okay? Blog, I know I call it blog instead of vlog, sorry about that. Blog 0106-2015 Daily Notes, 6 views. bcast 0105-2015 Infrared Cut Filter Problems, 8 views. Okay. And I'm going to go back a few more here. Vlog 05 2015 0105-2015 Daily Update, 7 views. bcast 0104-2015 Food Bar Internet, 8 views. Vlog 0103-2015 My internet is down. Now, look at the most popular videos. And I'd like to know what it is that makes them so exciting. Ouija Board the Movie, 4,635 views. Use your TTY TDD with your iPhone UltraCheck IntelliModem IT2 Review Demo, 3,805 views. Maintaining a bleach chair at home, no salon available, 1,418 views. Okay? Now, the question is what is it about those 3 that get your attention, and versus the ones that are not getting your attention? I need to know. I just need to know, because I need to know what I need to do to fix up any deficiencies that exist. And if I don't know, because you're not telling me, I have to make a guess. And if I guess wrong, then my viewership drops down to the socks. That's not helpful, because the thing that tells me is, what did I do wrong? It doesn't tell me nothing. No. It doesn't tell you anything, because it's not telling you. Great. So how am I supposed to know? And maybe you like, for example, when the cats are on our table here, maybe you like it when I wear certain clothes. Maybe you like certain backgrounds. I don't know. You're not telling me. Maybe you hate when my cats are on the table. Maybe you hate that I'm shooting from the same place with the same microphone, not the same, always that seems like the same time. Maybe you would like me to do outdoor shots. Maybe you'd like me to go outside. I don't know what you want. You gotta tell me. So that's all I'm saying is, brothers and sisters, I need to know. I've always been open to you. I would like to hear what you got to say. Let's talk. Now, as I said, as far as the running for political office here in Winston as selectman, I'm going to throw my damnedest this year to make it happen. If it does, it does. If it don't, well, that's okay too. I would like to try it. I'll be honest, I don't really want to. I don't really know how I'm going to be able to handle sitting through all the political town meetings, but you know what? I've certainly have sat through worse, so I certainly could probably at least look at what I want to help you. Okay, it's just like I want to do your YouTube channel. I want to help you too, but if you don't tell me what's wrong, I can't help you. Correct. Great. And like also, we do got a mess, like Tom Lupshu said. So let's get down and get ready to get our hands dirty and fix the problems we can. That's what I said in my political campaign statement. But also, we also need to know that, well, if I'm not saying something, if I'm not reaching a certain point that you want me to reach, and you don't tell me, then how am I supposed to know if I'm supposed to approach it? Absolutely. You're absolutely right. If they don't tell you what they want, how can you give it to them? Alright, guys. It's been running long enough, and as I said, I'm trying some of Limmy's ideas with the lighting and stuff like that. And as far as creating a dimming board, do you think that would work? Yeah, I think you might want to consider going with LEDs first. Because otherwise, the light's going to be kind of hard to be consistent when you dim them, because it's going to change the color temperature. Right. Okay, that's a wrap. And don't forget to like or dislike, share with your friends and enemies. Subscribe if you have not already done so. And post your comments, complaints, suggestions, and gripes down here. And I will read them. And I will try to respond to them if I can. Okay? And we'll see where we go from there. Okay? So for now, I'm just going to wrap this up here. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody.